This is a video that is basically about how I feel, in general, or to do with, you know, um, things in general. And as I would have thought about it, you budget basically week to week. You spend relatively on average out of control amounts of cash, and you wind up in debt or with nothing before you sort of start to crave your next wage, your next social welfare Wednesday payment, your disability allowance, access funds, budget friendly income tax access. Did I say that? Access, excess, and accessing it like that. I'll take all the money out, I'll stick it in my wallet, and then I get to the shops. What do I want? Red Bull. Red Bull. I'm going to have to get some food. I'm going to have to get some electricity, for the week, every week. And then I kind of think, I got the electricity to change the ways of what I'm sort of gisting and jiving about. To get the electricity, what it is, which it was, um, to an auto top up by phone, mobile app, um, income tax, debit free, transaction, you know, bank statement unnecessarily, um, pop, 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 a lot of cash, So it says when the meter is below 5, it will automatically top up by 15. What that means is on the horizon for your budget, instead of going underneath or all the way to zero before the cash is replenished in the following coming days, week to week to week to week to week to week to week, income and bonus and monthly income, Tuesday of every month, first one, 35 quid, 32.50 coming your way. So monthly income 32.50, weekly income 265 during the winter months. And as I say, twas twats a lot, but 'tis a lot to me. And then I kind of get through it doing Caravaggio. I'm painting $1 billion paintings at the same time as working this way. So I kind of have a taste of the richness because, even the painting itself is indulgent. It's almost like eating paradise. And then you kind of think, what you kind of go back to is that one day you'll sell it for billions. And as I says, I might not even bother, but I might. It depends, you know. So in that way, I have a very limited budget, but I have a very luxurious lifestyle. And then the guy sort of dudes and goes to me, and he sort of says on the Shredlock and Woes is like what I sort of wiggled out and thought there. And he kind of goes to the side to him, and then he kind of goes, I was kind of working it out there. And he was like trying to sort of figure it out. And other people had thought that, or even if he didn't think that, but it is true. And then he kind of goes a tectagonal face, that alternates millions of gestures that can't really be decided. And other people try to decide them the same way. And then I kind of think to myself, as I would have thought that was probably obvious, most people have that, but I don't think you really recognize who I am, because I'm a spiritual guy. And my mind is a transcendental realization. Well, transcendental. Look at this. And then she kind of goes like that. So anyway, the cash comes in, and instead of spending it all in the shops, you spend 20 or less, up to 18 euros per store. If shopping online, it can be double, but it's only the one time. In other shops, you may return to the same store, but you may go to another shop as well. So in that way, you could go, let's say, to the square where there is a mall or even a center for shopping, and there are multiple outlets. You could go into the works for a little bit of art stuff, a notebook, some pens, even something ludicrous like a children's a children's sex toy, And as you would sort of think, what you sort of think that that's not quite right, but um, some toys for children may be sex toys. Did you ever think of that? And as I said there, it's like, no, I hadn't. So then he kind of goes, then what's all that about? And I was like, oh, those are for adults. And I sort of thought, are they really? Not necessarily, but they're not for children. Children will probably bite them. And I'd be like, yeah, I guess so. And then you kind of add it together yourself and you kind of go, hold on a second. Get back to the story. You may go for it and you may buy that. And it may be bought that way. And then I kind of go the sway and squeeze. Is like, as I decided it and as I started to figure it out, the guy was able to kind of go, you leave the works after buying the art supplies or the children's toys or even the adult toy um, relatively to what is yourself. And then you sort of think to the other shelves, and then you kind of think, as I would have added it together. And now that I think of it, start to think of it, and kind of say that it's obvious. I would go into the pipe shop and maybe buy a marijuana cigarette. And he kind of goes, Cigateer de Ricoleer, Kish Kish Kapish, maybe. And then you can sort of say, and in that day you've done a double shop. And they said, don't double shop in the square. If you're going into the square, go into one store, multiple items, but less than 20. And then I kind of be like, that's tricky. And if the item is more, then you got to decide to save. Then you kind of go, makes sense. This guy is working things out. So the lamp store, 60 euros, 200 for a 5-tier lamp. You're going to have to figure out how to get that yourself. It kind of goes, going over to the gross store around Dominic's, St. Dominic's in Tallinn, Dublin 24. And my air code is DW6 or 89420 AM. And then she kind of goes, or even my mobile is something like that. 100 and 850, 450s and 622s. Just count it. Decimal place. Oh yeah. And then she kind of goes, that wouldn't be right. And I kind of go, adding it up there on the swelldons and cents. If she comes in for the feeling that it is a good thing, I kind of go, 7 minutes, you're going to put this on YouTube with the rest of them? I said, do you think someone would listen to this on YouTube for the rest of them? Say you might have a headache, you might feel enlightened, you might be wondering which one is which, and who is you? And in the end, I either hate you or I respect it. You're just so weird, Wally. And he's like, in the end, I mean, I guess you can perceive the suffering that I have, and then the consequence of my identity that seems quite synthetic. It's actually a Polaroid photosynthesis of personality, and it looks like I am, but really I'm just faking it, faking it. And at the end of the day, it's like, the truth is that I am there with that, I'm just keeping it surreal, because this world is preparing for itself, the crystallization. And then I kind of think, that's why we're talking about shop, it's inanimate. And then he kind of goes, you go back to the idea, and then you get the store kind of like that. And then you kind of go where you are and you say it to yourself, and you kind of think, adding it to yourself. And we sort of think is like, you're in the store and you think they're yourselves. You kind of go, what about Lidl? And I said, you could spend a double shopping spree in Lidl if you wanted to, up to 44, And then I kind of go, think 42. And I kind of go, yeah, 422, 421, I like it. And then he kind of goes, and that's the amount that you want to spend. 423, 423, 123. All of that weird stuff. Could be the Matrix. They could be trying to code it out. And I'd say, study this video, my little children and loving child. We'll be back to the debut where they see him ski. And I know he was James Bond. And in the movie, he played the enemy. And I said like that, why did he do that? I mean, he was just too good looking. Way too good looking. So I'll see you later. Goodbye. Jab.